Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. Go to f2bbs.com. www.f2bbs.com. The last bastion of free speech on the interweb. That's right, guys. I want you to go to www.f2bbs.com. That's right. I want you to go there. You can, this is a great site to fight against all sorts of nastiness by posting on f2bbs.com, the last bastion of free speech on the interweb. Go there, guys. Hey guys, it's ArchieLuxury on the ArchieLuxury channel. Today, guys, I'm making the vid 1 month with my Rolex. 1 month with my Rolex Submariner. What do I think? What do I think indeed there? What do I think, guys? What do I think of this watch? It's the, there we go, a bit of glow. Okay, guys. What do I think? I've had it for a month and I've practically worn it every day. Every day I have worn this watch. What do I think of the new 41mm Submariner date, the 126610LN? What do I think of it? I really love it. I really do love this watch. I think it is sensational. It's sensational. I gotta be totally honest with you. I think the biggest revolutions, if you look at the Submariner history, I think the biggest step forwards with the Rolex Submariner have been when they added the date on the 16th. They because before that it was a no date piece. So I think the first thing, the big step they did was add the date when it became, they had the 1680, the Submariner date. The next big event in the Submariner's life was when they went sapphire crystal. Sapphire crystal. So the sapphire crystal, that's the glass, because the earlier Submariners, they have a plexi halcyon type, it's a plastic type glass, whereas Rolex decided to, they released the 16800, which is basically a 1680. That was the reference number with an extra zero. Went from being a 4-digit to a 5-digit, and I think that was a revolutionary step forward. And the funny thing is, of course, with the no date, the 5513, which was their plastic version, it ran until about 1989, 1990, when they went to the sapphire crystal version. Instead of it becoming a 55130, it became a 14060. It was a different reference system. So there you go. The biggest changes, I think, in the Submariner's life has been, number one, they had a date version. Number two, they went sapphire crystal. And the third biggest change in the Submariner lineup was when they released the ceramic bezel. The ceramic bezel, because the ceramic bezel was normally, the GMTs were Bakelite, the early GMT Masters were Bakelite, but the Submariners were aluminum. They had an aluminum insert, aluminum, and they changed it to ceramic. Now, it's not actually the model I've got in my hand here. It's actually, it became a 116610, the 11 series, which the 11 represents. What does that represent? The 11 represents the fact that it had the ceramic, so it became a 6-digit reference. 6-digit reference. Now, this model here, so the first ceramic sub, the maxi case, was the 116610 for the date sub. The new version is the 126610. So this here is kind of just a little bit tweaking. So it's not the biggest evolutionary step. It is kind of just a gradual improvement. What did they do? Well, of course it went from 40 mils to 41 mils, and the bracelet went from a 20 mil to a 20 mil end piece to a 21 mil, and consequently the lugs appear thinner. The lugs appear thinner. What do I think of it myself? I tell you what, when I first saw this, it's kind of like if you got the previous 16 610 and the maxi case ceramic 116610, combine the two. This is kind of like, it looks like a combination of the two. The big thing is, I think, is the proportions. When I got this, I didn't really say, hey, it's now bigger and better. It just felt right. It just felt right. It's kind of like the size didn't twig until you really started looking at it. What do I think of it? What do I think of it 1 month on? Look, I think it's a fantastic workhorse. It's amazing. The price on these things here, well, they're about 10,000 US dollars retail. In Australia, the price reflects the Aussie dollar compared to the US dollar. It's about, well, it's $12,900 for the date sub. Now, the problem is on the secondary market, of course, you know, supply and demand, it's economics 101. These are going for a premium. They're selling in the US market for high 13s US to about 15. In Australia, we seem to have limited stock. There seems to be an arbitrage between US and Australia. Technically, it's cheaper to buy it in America, but of course, doing that, you could get hit with GST. It's like our sales tax. And it's a hassle to send expensive items via the post or via a courier service. It gets especially expensive when you consider that countries that you're sending it from often won't give you their tax back. They'll just charge you new tax at your port of entry. So it's kind of annoying, to say the least. It's very annoying, to say the least there. My own view, what do I think of this thing? I gotta tell you honestly, the Submariner date, is it worth the premium? Is it worth the premium? So you're looking up to 5,000 US dollar premium, which is pretty hefty when you consider it's a 10,000 US dollar item. Is it worth the premium? Look, I gotta be totally honest with you. If I had the 40 mil version, that's the previous model with the ceramic, I think I'd be equally happy. I think I'd be equally happy. But I'm very happy to have the 41 mil. I think it probably is a bit better, just a smidgen better, a little bit nicer proportion. It's very cool to have the latest and greatest on your wrist. That is definitely very, very cool. I must admit, that's super cool. Super cool to have that on your wrist. But as far as the money goes, what do I think? Look, is it worth the bucks? Look, it's supply and demand. The funny thing is, so many Americans out there, they don't like to pay over retail. It's big. they're kind of, they're all free enterprise kind of people, but they're very anti-pay. I don't want to pay over retail. I don't. Well, that's the market price. Forget Rolex list prices. You used to be able to get a discount. Now, no discounts. So to answer the question there, is it worth the bucks? Is it worth the coin? Is it worth the hassle? That's a good question. I gotta tell you, if you really want a Rolex, you've always wanted a Rolex, and you want a sports Rolex, I think the Submariner date could be the perfect one and done. Pay the premium, get it, it's okay. If you're a bit of a trader, a collector, it's probably not worth doing it to speculate. The thing is, of course, I love the Submariner. I think it's just a great watch for a man to have. You can go to the beach, you can swim with it on. Make sure you check those. Make sure get a pressure test every couple of years, every year if you're going to be doing that. But it's just such a great piece. It's something that is, Rolex is special. Rolex really is special. It's very special, very, very special. And that's the thing, I think. You've got to look at Rolex and say, if you wanted a one and done and that was it, that was going to keep you fulfilled, I think it's worth paying a premium. I think it's worth the premium. I mean, if you want to get into the graces of the AD, you got to lick their ass. You've got to you've basically got to buy garbage. You've got to buy garbage. When I say garbage, I mean you've got to buy pieces that obviously are very difficult to resell and get your money back. Actually very hard to resell and lose a bit. That's the way it is. So, in all honesty, I think just pay the piper, pay the premium, and be done. That's what I'd be doing. Pay the piper, pay the premium, be done. Be done. One Submariner isn't going to kill, I think it's actually quite a reasonable way to go. So that could be an interesting turn of events. But I think if you think about it, one Rolex just to have, what would you pick? And this is an interesting thing. Okay, one Rolex, you can only choose one Rolex. And I've got to tell you, I think you would have to choose steel, because steel is so much usable. You can use it every day. It's durable. It's a good metal. I would also try and get a Rolex that has a function. If it's going to be one and done, get a date, and get one that does something else, like has a timing bezel or a GMT function. You want a bit more than just time. So for me, I think the Submariner date fits perfectly in that category because it does. It's got a date, it's got a timing bezel, it's just a design icon. It's something you could wear every day. If that could be your only watch, you could be very proud with that. Okay guys, like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell me what you think. Don't be afraid to put some comments below. And guys, I will see you in the next one. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. And who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.